According to the news dated on the 10th of January 2023, there's no doubt the UK is set to stop the migration of international students into the UK. This was a result as a cap that is being put in place right now to stop the migration of international students into the UK. As you know, Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of the UK, last year, 2022, made a profound statement that is going to stop the migration of illegal immigrants into the country. And he made this known to the public that he's going to set four rules. He's going to set four rules to stop the immigration of illegal students. While this may be in place, he has also recently now stated that is putting a cap of the number of people migrating into the UK through the student visa. My name is Olufemi Nansa. You're welcome to this channel. Please, if you are just joining me for the first time, consider subscribing as I will be releasing new updates about what is going on in the UK and all over the world. For our returning subscribers, thank you for coming back. So why this measure have been put in place by the UK? They are trying to slow down the people migrating to the UK through the student visa. So as you may know that the UK as it is at the moment, they do benefit a lot from international students migrating into the country because they pay exorbitant tuition fee, which in turn boosts their economy. So because of the fact that they have stated that family members will be able also come into the UK through this visa, they have experienced a surge in the population of the country, thereby leading to some issues and problems that they are facing in the country that they want to tackle immediately. So I've got some news to read to us to our hearing so that we know where all this is coming from. So you want to stick around and go with me as we go to the news. And it says at the start of the year, it is always good to take stock, but perhaps even better to look forward. Prediction may be wrong, but making them is a valuable exercise nonetheless. So here are the Asia Careers Group fears and hopes for 2023. When it comes to fears, we hope they remain unrealized, and with regards to hopes, one can only lead a horse to water. Let's continue with the news. It says the first fear is that the United Kingdom government ceases to issue dependent visa for all international postgraduate students. We know this is one of the actions at the top of the Home Secretary Suella Braverman's to-do list. This is despite CEO of the University UK Vivienne Stern's spirited evidence recently to the Science and Technology Select Committee. Perhaps postgraduate research students will be spared, but there are no guarantees. Let's just hope the experts speaking on their behalf are successful in swaying a hell-bent Home Secretary. It's worth noting that it is not just the Home Secretary questioning the number of dependent visas issued to postgraduate students. King's College London professor Brian Bell told BBC Radio 4's Today's program that restricting the number of family members students can bring to the UK is certainly worth looking into. As we can see this in their the speeches of the UK Prime Minister and all of the cabinets of MPs that are actually on this issue. You can tell that they are concerned about family members joining these applicants or these international students to migrate into the UK. It's not worthwhile for them because they see that a lot of family members, they just come with the student that has applied to come school in the UK, and for that reason, it is alarming for them because now it's not causing problems. So they are looking for a way to actually put a stop to it. I don't know. Maybe they might come up with the fact that they want to cut the idea of international students actually bringing their family as a dependent with them. So, but it could be the case, no one knows. But we'll just keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best, because this has, the laws and the things that they've actually implemented has actually benefited people, because they've been able to come with their family to come live in the UK while they are also a student in the UK and schooling. So with this kind of sad news, we don't know what the outcome is going to be. But I'll read on for us to get all the details that is contained in the news. It says cap on international student numbers. The second fear is that cap on international students come to fruition. Wow. So it is well known that the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is considering a crackdown on international students and restricting admission to top universities. Downing Street said as much following the news that net migration to the UK has climbed to a record 504,000 in a single year. Sunak's official spokesman said in November that the Prime Minister was fully committed to bringing overall immigration levels down, and blamed unprecedented and unique circumstances for the record high. We are considering all options to make sure the immigration system is delivering, and that does include looking at the issue of student dependence and low quality degrees. You see what we're talking about? So they are looking into this aspect, because they know that for the population to surge that and for the problem that they are facing in the economy, they are now putting it as a result that is because of the additional international student dependence that is causing this problem. So this is a thing that we want to actually consider, and see if we can be able, turn over this decision that they are about to make. Okay, I read further. It says, we know that the Home Secretary has previously complained about foreign students bringing in family members who can piggyback onto their student visa and propping up, frankly, substandard courses in inadequate institution. I don't know if you understand what I've just read. What I've just read now is that they are assuming, or they believe that students coming into the country, they are just trying to fake a way of, to just migrate into the country, because they have just stated here that people come into the country as a result of getting this low courses, low education, because they just, all their main goal is that to come into the country and reside, that they are not coming because they actually wanted to school, but because that they want to come into the country and live. The main problem with the government plan is how it will define inadequate institution and low quality degrees. The obvious choice is using published university rankings. This is ironic, as to date no university ranking actually includes a measure of international graduate outcome. Moreover, HESA, the UK's higher education statistics agency, has ceased actively collecting non-European Union graduate outcomes data. Many from within the outside UK higher education would say the breadth of the UK higher education sector is to be commended and not condemned. As highlighted by former Education Secretary Justice Greene, the very university the government is considering imposing caps on, which would bring almost certain financial ruin at the institution that make the largest commitment to widening participation, and are central to the government's levelling up agenda. If the government decides to use such arbitrary, unsatisfactory measure as a university ranking to decide adequate adequacy, the only thing standing in their way would be for significant number of UK universities to boycott all published university ranking. However, it pans out every day the uncertainty remains. It does the UK no favor when it comes to recruiting international students. Wow. Worrying headlines are already circulating in the Indian press now. In the Indian press, now the UK largest international student market. Can we see what we are reading right now? Because as it is right now, they are very, kind of skeptical about the whole thing because they don't know if it's actually for them to just focus on the fact that this UK, uh, this UK international student, they are not doing UK good, or whether it's to just say, okay, we are also benefiting as a result of their tuition fee that is coming into the economy to boost the economy. So they are in a state of limbo. They don't know what actually to do about this case. But according to this news, they have kind of, find a way to put a cap that okay, if we get this amount of numbers of people into the UK, which is 504,000 for the year as a cap, they fit it as a cap. If we get this amount of numbers of people into the UK as international students, therefore we won't admit anybody into the UK through the international student visa. So if you are in that situation and you've seen that okay, you have plans to apply to migrate into the UK to come study or do whatever you want to do in the UK through the student visa, you might want to consider that cap, that number of cap, because this admission or this number fills so quickly. So if you are in that scenario or in that position to apply for a UK university, you want to start considering the fact to apply really early, so that you get admission, so that you don't fall short of the cap that they are going to put in place. Okay, before we end it, I want to read one last part of the news that will state the benefit of international students to the UK economy. So as we proceed, we can see it says, okay, it says such. I'll just read from here so that we actually get what we are talking about. So recent headlines on student housing shortage in some of the UK's most student-centric cities highlight a rise in the university dropouts and say that homelessness is becoming inevitable as UK student housing approaches crisis point. While The Guardian talks of charity warning of UK student housing reaching a crisis point as bad as the 1970s. Such shortage not only deprive students of a first-class student experience, they also wrongly focus negative publicity on international students studying in the UK. It is worth reiterating that international students are worth almost £30 billion to the UK economy and are the single most important revenue stream when keeping our universities in the black. So, as you can see, I'm not going to read all the news. We can see how much the international students they are actually contributing to the economy of the UK. It is enormous. It is huge. They are contributing a lot of money to the UK economy. So UK will have no choice rather than to also depend on the influx of international students. But then again, they are also considering the problem that is resulting in this regard because like we've just read we saw that they're having problem with housing issues. So you want to consider, if you're in that position, you want to consider if it's worthwhile for you to actually migrate to the UK and come study in the UK, because a lot of people, if they come into the UK to study, they are limited to only 20 hours of working. A lot of people that come to the UK to work, I mean to study or to school, what happens is that most of them they don't have money to sponsor themselves. They actually depend on the fact that when they get into the country, they will be able to pick up one or two jobs to support their education. But the problem is that as soon as they come into the country, they are only limited to 20 hours of working, and for such reason, they won't be able to fund their education properly, leading to them actually dropping out. So the whole aspect of them migrating into the UK to to come and school to come and do their course will be futile. So these are many more is what the government is trying to fight against, because they have experienced problems. There's a surge in immigration, and they are finding a way to control the whole thing. So in the description of this video, I'm going to include this news so that you go back to the news and read for yourself and get all the details that it entails. So I'm going to leave the link of this news in the description box. So please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, share it to families and friends that likely will benefit from this news. And please, if you have any comments, any question you want to ask in regards to this news, please leave it in the comments section, and I will get back to you guys. And for you that have just stumbled on my channel and you've not subscribed, please kindly do subscribe to the channel, because I will be releasing latest updates about UK, about immigration in every part of the world. So I will say thank you very much for being part of this channel. Take care for now. Bye.